Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with the Mexican update / patch 54545. Now, this is the update that's going to be hitting when the Mexico Civ hits, which will be in a day's time. So whenever you're watching this, you probably have access to it. If you've pre-ordered the game, you can play the game right now. So without further ado, let's get into the update. We're going to have a look at the main sort of areas of this update. We're not going to go through absolutely everything. So let's have a look at the rundown here. So we have New Mexico Civilization DLC, of course. Maximum unit selection has now been increased to 95. Now, I don't know whether this was a huge challenge with the game engine and everything like that, but I have no idea why this was not done right from the start. You know, being able to have unlimited sort of selection of units or a really high level or high amount of units is crucial for people that, you know, don't want to have all these million hotkeys with all different types of units on it. So originally it was at 50, then they bumped it up to 60, and now it's 95, which is absolutely awesome. So I don't think we're going to have any sort of issues or complaints with that. We have some US and Mexico Explorer skins that we can unlock, 6 new estate cards, which is really good. So United States are getting a little bit of action as well from this, which is nice. Updates to United States Federal Age Up cards as well. Loads of AI improvements and some new American map updates, which is awesome. So keeping that sort of map pool alive and diverse and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. And finally, we've got a new mod star rating system replaced by the old thumbs up one. So let's have a look. Let's have a scroll through. And we can see the new civilization spotlight. We're not going to go through this because I've done quite a few videos on the civilization already, so I'm not going to touch upon anything like that. We have the United States 6 new cards. Let's have a quick run through of this. We have a age 3 here. This is kind of interesting. So you've got like a 3-use card here. Very interesting and different thing to do, because normally you've got a 2-use card, or you've got an unlimited card, or obviously your single-use ones. So having a 3-use one is really, really interesting. So it says here at the end, it says 1 Gatling gun, it then resets. So I don't know whether or not that means it resets back up to 3 or something like that, but I mean, using a card, the same card 4 times is kind of crazy. But a first use, you get 3 Gatling guns, which is really, really nice. So I think this is actually going to be one of the main cards to be using when you FF with the good old states. And also Gatling guns seem to have an insane amount of range now, so kind of crazy. Georgia Hussars upgrades your Hussars to veteran status and reduces their cost. That's actually kind of crazy, because that's really going to sort of encourage adding cavalry into the composition of the states, because normally we see the classic sort of regulars with militia, or regulars and sharpshooters, or something like that. You know, that's the normal composition that I normally come across anyway. So this Georgia Hussars here is very interesting, and maybe we'll start to see some more Hussar action. Missouri River Expeditions arrives fast, ships 1 covered wagon, enables your general to use the hot air balloon ability. Also increases the town center build limit, so that's a nice late age card there. The 5 Carbine Cavalry. Now, I'm not too sure what's happened to the Carbine Cavalry and the Sharpshooters, those 2 units, and I don't know how good they are. So the Carbine Cavalry is rarely used as anti-cav. Normally just go for regulars, but I have no idea whether this is going to be any good. So 5 Carbine Cavalry there, once again, maybe trying to encourage players to use it. And also we have the 4 Carbine Cavalry card here as well. Now, this one's very interesting. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments below what the hell this means, but this looks really overpowered. In Age 2, Virginia Plan. Upon arrival, this card grants you 2 shipments to spend. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you get this card and then it gives you 2 home city shipments immediately, basically. So it's giving you an extra one a bit faster. So I don't know whether that's worth it or not. This card replaces the Virginia Federal card, Virginia General Assembly, which has now been moved to the home city. Interesting. I'll have to have a look at the USA. I do want to get back into them, and that's something that I'm going to be planning on doing at some point. I want to try out the Spanish, obviously Mexico, and the States. So I kind of want to keep it in the Americas for now, and also Aztec is something that I want to try out as well, because they've got a couple of new cards. So we have a Mexicana event. I'm not going to touch upon this too much. You guys can have a look at that, but basically it means you can unlock profile icons, explorer skins, and stuff like that. I'm just going to go to, there's a bunch of challenges that you can do as well. You can keep it forever if you sign into Xbox Live, of course. Moving down to games, so achievements, we have 10 new achievements with the Mexican DLC. Stability and performance, fixing some crashes. and small performance issues, loading times for players with HDDs and SSDs. That's very good. Sorry, increasing it for the hard disk drives rather than the solid states. Graphics, made a small fix to the Falconet models. Fixed numerous minor issues in the Inca and Aztec home cities. Some audio changes. UI here, all team cards now correctly show shipment arrival notification. Nothing too much there, to be honest. Scenario editor, I'm not going to touch upon that too much. Settings, fixed a rare issue where the player's language could be reset to Spanish. Interesting. A good hotkey change here, so you can find the church, mosque, mountain, monastery, universe now works correctly if the player has a mosque. Okay. Multiplayer, the search again options no longer available for ranked treaty because you can't actually use ranked treaty in the main menu. And this is one of the big ones here. So we have gameplay general increases the maximum unit selection, which I just mentioned, from 60 to 95, which is absolutely awesome. And this is one of the main things on this patch, really. Obviously, the Mexican DLC is awesome. But aside from that, I think this, along with the new United States cards, and this change is really, really nice. Home city water flag can no longer be moved to a place without line of sight. Very interesting. Okay, yeah, because I remember you could just send that thing, you could send that sucker to the other side of the map and just spawn your ships. So that's going to change a few things. You're going to have to make sure your explorer is on the other side of the map so you can pop your fishing boats or your caravels or whatever you want in the enemy's waters. Okay. Civ balances. Okay, so United States cards. Minutemen companies now also ships 10 Minutemen. We have the fortifications card here, enables to previously improve training and research speeds, but now its fort cost and build time has been improved by 50%, enables 2 more to be constructed. I don't know many of these cards. I haven't played the States since they were released, so a lot of these I don't really know. So I'm not going to just run through these and just sort of read them to you. You can obviously have a look at these, and if there's anything that pops out to you that you use, of course, make sure to have a look at it. But I don't really notice any cards I actually used to use here, which is interesting. Moving on to random maps. Overview. Several beloved legacy American maps significantly improved, yet still stay true to the good old original design. Lots of minor tweaks and improvements. That's awesome. We always want to be making sure that we're moving around the map set, keeping it vibrant, keeping it new, making sure that we're kind of doing this, every other month at least would be really nice. Let's have a look. I just go through the specific changes to the maps. I'm not going to really touch upon those too much. You guys can have a look at that. The AI general. So this is going through the way that the AI has now changed. So it's a little bit more, what's the word? Just more intelligent, I guess, better. So you guys can practice against the AI rather than going against other people if you're not too fond of that. So I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. Civilizations, this is kind of interesting here. Fix for the Chinese AI not being able to max out population. Ethiopian AI can now train shotter warriors. Wow, I can't believe they couldn't. That's crazy. Some Ottoman stuff here. So specific changes to Civ AI. And this is nice. This bit here is really good. So there's the ongoing part and what's on the horizon. So at least they're giving us a basic roadmap. This is something that I mentioned in my stream. I don't know whether I mentioned it in a video, but I think it's really crucial, especially for the smaller game within the franchise, like Age of Empires 3, to make sure that the fans have an idea of what you're working on. So a rough roadmap doesn't have to be exact, but sort of like to give us an idea what you are working on. And it looks like we've got co-op mode for historical battles, which is really good. That's got to be a lot of fun. I might actually try that out. A brand new game mode. Interesting. So we've just recently had Empire Wars, which I do want to get back into at some point. We've got Treaty, we've got Deathmatch, we've got Supremacy. So we'll see what the next game mode is. HC, which is home city customizations for the 2 Native American civs, and performance improvements for low-end systems. That's really, really good, because there have been quite a few complaints still around people with low-end systems having trouble with the game. So that's awesome. And there's a disclaimer at the bottom. So that's it, guys. Now, there's one thing, the elephant in the room, the thing that hasn't been mentioned, and that is the abuse of the Kalanka FF with Inca, with the Harakas, or however you pronounce them, the Harakas or Harachas or whatever, and the Bolus warriors. So that hasn't been addressed. So I'm not too sure if that is going to be addressed, but I mean, looking like the sort of frequency of these updates, we may get one in the next couple of weeks, but most likely it's going to be next month. So that's something that I'm kind of a little bit disappointed about. They didn't really address that. I'm going to be releasing a couple of videos, or at least one video, on one of my friends who actually managed to beat a player. Crispy managed to beat a player with this strategy, and he was called Frontline. I think he's like top 30, top 40, and Crispy's like ranked 700-800 in the world. So that's a huge disparity, and he managed to take the win with this build order. And he's been doing extremely well, and he's been going up and up and up the ladder with it. And it's just a devastating build order, and I think it does need fine-tuning, and something needs to change. And it is a shame that hasn't been addressed. So we'll see what happens in the future. Maybe they do address it, maybe they don't. But I think, you know, for new players, they're just going to be picking the Inca maybe because it's a really easy age up. But we shall see. So that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think, especially around the Inca stuff, because they haven't addressed it yet. So not too sure what's going to be happening there. And of course, let me know if you're going to get the Mexican DLC and if you're looking forward to it. If you enjoyed this, make sure to drop a like. I'll catch you in the next video or the next stream. Take care, guys.